Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to organize leads, opportunities, and customers within NMS Prime so that you have a perfect CRM for your FTTH and cable networks. Let's get into it. Hi and welcome. My name is Thorsten Schmidt, and with NMS Prime, we help FTTH and cable operators to organize their entire value chain from a lead until an active customer. And in this module, I'm going to show you our sales module, our sales application, which is pretty cool. And I've opened it here already in the background. And for today's video, I'm going to show you how we add a lead. Then we can convert a lead into an opportunity, and an opportunity we can also convert later on into an active contract. So we're going to have a look at this initial sales pipeline. I'm also going to show you how to configure all the stuff so that you can customize your pipelines and work with it. So let's get into it. After you logged in and installed the sales application, what you're going to see is if you click here on the sales symbol, you will get a panel of the sales application, and you see these 4 different types where you can add a lead, you can manage your opportunities, and of course you will also see your active contracts here, and we can configure our sales pipeline. So for now, let's just walk through it step by step. So let's assume a customer or a potential customer will come to you and you will add a lead so you can keep track of it. So a lead is like the very initial stage of a potential customer which you're interacting with. And afterwards, a lead can become an opportunity. So this could be any interaction that you have with a customer or potential customer. Either he is, for example, subscribed to your newsletter or something like this. So all of these things could be. So let's start adding a lead. You can always say if it's either individual or organization. Let's assume it's individual. Then we give it a name. Let's call him Max Power. Could be company. Then we will give it an email so we can recognize it later on. And we will give it a phone number, just a random phone number. And if we have further information like birthday, of course, we can assign a birthday to it. And let's assume Max is living on the flat white street 5. So here will be the 5. I delete it here. And we give it a zip code, and let's assume he's living in Miami. So our network operator is in Miami. All right, so then we can say, where is the lead coming from? Either it's from our website or it's like a social media contact that we have. Let's assume it's a social media contact. And at this stage, we call it the lead is cold. And important from a legal perspective, we can always say, like, are we enabled or allowed to talk with him? So we say we have a consent from him, either because he, chatted us on social media. If we would know already at which apartment he is living, then we can also select the apartment here. I leave this free for now. The owner who are adding this is our demo user, so our customer here. So let's add this lead. After we added the lead, we see all the information we put in. We see here on the left side. And of course, we could now make changes to it. We see the lead here on the top has a little bit of a yellow color, which means he is cold at this stage. On the right side, we see that we can convert this lead to an opportunity. So if we have further information and say, like, now this lead is hot, we can convert it into an opportunity. And below, we can have other stuff as well, like we can assign tickets to this lead. So let's look back to the list, and we see here is all the lists of leads we have. I'm just sorting it based on the created date. So in this respect, we see on the top corner, here's our Max Power. Let's assume we have more interactions with Max. And now we say the lead is getting warm. And we save this here. And after the lead is warm, we see it's going to change its color here. And let's move it to the next stage. Let's say the lead is qualified, and we could save this here. And at this stage, we might add an apartment to the lead, but I'm going to show you in a next. Once we have this, we could say, yeah, this lead is really warm. So let's convert it to an opportunity, which will be the next logical stage. And at this point, we can start really to sell to the customer. So let's get into it. You can always think of that leads could be different types of customer interactions or potential customer interactions that you have. Like, for example, a newsletter, or someone is engaging with your marketing team on social media, and then you can just keep track of it and put the information that you have at this stage into the leads. So once the lead is qualified, we can say, like, okay, we want to convert it to an opportunity and we want to move it through our sales pipeline. So let's convert it. I have converted this lead to an opportunity, and we see that converted lead is automatically added to our pipeline called sales, and it's set to the initial stage, which in this case is lead, and we see there's still a closing probability of 20%. So we can go here now, and once you clicked here, you see that we changed to the opportunities now, and see if power is assigned here the lead on the right side or was before an opportunity he was a lead. We converted just all the informations that we have as of now to this opportunity, and so we can now work with it. So we see that currently he has a closing probability of 20%, and we will also see which stage he is at this time. Once Max is an opportunity, what we can do is that we can now start working with the sales funnel, and we will see that Max will be here in the lead stage, and we can drag and drop him to the next level. So let's say now we have a qualification call with him, and we see typically after a qualification call, the chance that he will become an active customer is 40%. Let's say this qualification call was, and there's just one step missing until we can close Max. So let's say we need another call, which in this case would be the closing call. So we say normally at this stage we close with 70% chance. And now we need to fill in a few more details that we've got so far. So for example, we know now which items Max is interested in. Let's say he wants an internet tariff, for example, this one, can add it here. And then let's also assume that Max wants to have a TV product as well. Say he want to use this IPTV product. So now we know that Max will going to use these two products or is interested in these two products. And with that in mind, we can go back to our funnel and see where Max is and going in again. Now we can also assign a deal size here. Let's say deal is worth of 2,000 from a company perspective. We save this here. And then we are going to go here and see that now Max is in the last closing call, the probability 70%, and deal size is 2,000 euro. So what we see here now is that for each different stage, which I'm showing you now how to configure them, we can add probabilities, closing probabilities. And if you assign the deal sizes to each opportunity, you will get like this, the sales statistics here, where you see an average probability that everything is closing, you see the total value, and you see the weighted value, which is total value with each probability of closing together. Let's look into this. And since this is the sales funnel, we could also just add another pipeline, another funnel, which in this purpose we will use for a perfect FTTH scenario where we say we want to not just have it as a sales funnel, but we will organize the FTTH build outs and the different stages that a customer during an FTTH build out could be in. So let's create a new pipeline. We call it FTTH rollout. It will be not our default pipeline for now. And now we can add different pipeline status where like here, for example, we call the first stage, the customer has market interests. It will be at position 0. Default probability is perhaps 20% at this stage, and we assign no color, and it's not like a end stage, so it's just a starting stage. So now we see we have a pipe market interest. Let's say the next one will be construction pending. So we give it construction pending, give it the next order index 20, probability is perhaps 30, construction pending. Then we say we have the next stage, which will be serviceable, ready to order. Probability now is 40, index is maybe 20, and probability is 40. We still have no color defined here. And then we say the next page or the next stage will be installation scheduled. Probability is also 50 here. And then we say we have activated and billing, just to give you an example. Of course, you can organize different stages. Just going to give you an example here. Say the probability here is 60. Once the customer is activated and billed, of course, we would say this is a one stage. So this would mean that this is an active deal. So now, and if you go back to sales, you can change here on the top to your next pipeline, where you see we have now these pipeline defined, market interest, construction pending, serviceable, / ready to order, installation scheduled, and activated billing. And here you could also just go ahead and add an opportunity, which I will do not now. It will be automatically now assigned to this pipeline here. That said, let's go back to our initial opportunity that we've created and sorted by created add date. So we see the last one we added here. Here we have Max flat white. And let's say Max is now ready to become an active customer. The last two things which we need to do here in this stage, currently it's configured, we need to do it manual. So of course you can also automate this process, but here we can say we want to convert Max now to an active contract. So I would do this here by saying I confirm that I want to convert this to a contract. Once we've converted Max to an active contract, we see that the convert field changes and we see the assigned contract now. We see the opportunity has already been converted to contract today. And now we can view the contract. And now we see that we have an active contract with the products that Max was interested in. So this is automatically converted with it as well. And we see all the informations that we have here. And typically, you can now, of course, add more information if you need. You see automatically the start date will be the contract start date where we converted into an active contract. And now we could start billing Max. So there is not much more information required, or probably no more information required. So now we have our first active contract. Of course, the last thing that you, from a technical perspective, would need to do is that you assign Max also a modem. We haven't done this in the opportunity stage, so you would do this as a next step. So this will be in one of the next videos. Last thing which I just wanted to show you, that after we converted Max to an active contract, it is also automatically moved in our sales pipeline to the one stage. So now we see we have an active customer here, which is great. If you also want to implement a sales application in the sales funnel like this, then all you need to do is just watch under this video and click the link and book a free consultation call with one of the people from my team. And then we are happy to assist you along the way.